It was exactly 1 month ago that we were at the official launch of the brand new Kia EV9 3-row electric SUV. You'll see it has a very boxy, edgy shape. In some ways, it's kind of like a more modern, big Kia Soul. This is the GT line. It comes with 21-inch wheels. Gone away with that. Love that. Thank you so much, Kia. Above that, they have kind of these embedded buttons that have haptic feedback. And when the vehicle is off, they don't light up. You don't see them at all. Close that door. Now, to bring the seat back, I can just hit the same button. Now, here's something interesting. I don't know if you can see my knees here. It's gonna squish me. Actually, it touched my knee and it sensed it. 3, 2, 1, sport mode, EV9. To the floor, there's 60 right there. And we are in the beautiful Arizona desert. Yeah, coyotes and roadrunners all over the place, but you're not gonna find any Looney Tunes here. We are doing a real world test now on this EV9. See how it handles with the family, for the gear, our everyday activities, and look at this. It's snowing. We have over a foot of snow here, so this is gonna be a really good test. Stay tuned. Ever since driving this vehicle at the launch in Arizona, I've been dying to get it back here to see what it would be like, you know, handling our day-to-day activities with our family. And I especially wanted Cynthia to take it for a drive because I honestly think this would be a very good vehicle for us, for sure, because we really liked our Highlander hybrid. We drove that from new for 8 years. Then we got into the Ioniq 5. Now we're hooked on the EV. We do have a gas car as well, but yeah, a lot of times when we can, we drive the Ioniq 5, and this EV9 just feels like it's the best of both worlds. You get the capacity for cargo and people of the Highlander, yet you get the benefits of the EV. And yeah, so if you haven't watched our launch video, make sure to click the link in the video description where we go through, you know, everything, the entire walk around of this vehicle, what it's like to drive, and a lot of the specs, but just a little bit of a recap, just in case you haven't watched it yet. This is the all-wheel drive GT line. This is the same one that we drove in Arizona here. So that's the top of the line. It has the larger battery, so it's almost 100 kilowatt hours. Range on the GT line, it's a little bit less than the others just because, first of all, it's all-wheel drive. It has a lot more horsepower, so it's about 389 horsepower. You also are running 21-inch wheels, so bigger wheels you go, less range you get. The GT line comes as a 6-passenger configuration. Now, range-wise, we are getting an 100% charge in the wintertime, so we're about 400 when we first leave the house, and it's gonna drop down there depending on how you drive. Now, we don't drive in eco mode. We're not trying to conserve. We are just literally leaving it in normal most of the time. Always have the seat and steering wheel heat on in the winter time. Also, our temperature is around 21, 22 degrees. And on average for this week that we've been driving it, we are getting just below 30 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So yeah, you can do the math right there. All right, so you're looking at maybe about 320, 330 of real life of mileage for sure in conditions like this. And we were also lucky enough, like in the opening, to drive this in the snow. Of course, when you're in snow mode, you are using your all-wheel drive system more. It's gonna go to that more, and you're gonna use more energy. But let's have a look at what it's like in the snow. Here we go, terrain. Let's go into snow mode. It's funny, we have over a foot of snow here, and this is a big, heavy vehicle. Everyone's getting stuck, mainly because they don't have proper tires. And this thing is just passing everybody with ease. Now there's a 4x4 that got stuck on this hill right there, Toyota Tacoma, a second ago, and I am going up this hill with zero issue. Zero. He was stuck for about 30 minutes trying to get up that little hill. There's this truck there, that blue one. And this is just, it's so good. People are looking like, wow, what is that thing that's just plowing through? Some other things that I noticed using on a day-to-day basis is I really think the step-in height is pretty well perfect on this vehicle. Some may actually want this a little bit higher, but it's a perfect transition to get into this vehicle. Also, the things that I really love about this car, especially if you compare it to our Ioniq 5, is the physical buttons for the heated seat and the steering wheel. You also have ergo seats, so they can kind of give you this semi-massage. It can do it by itself. We talked about that before. So that's a huge bonus. Head-up display. It's the next generation head-up display, very clear, it's color, and I love how if you're using your navigation from your mobile device, whether it's an Android or Apple device, those turn-by-turn directions go right into your head-up display, so you really have no excuse to be looking anywhere else. You can see everything right there. Also your blind spot monitor, that also works. This has the HDA2 Highway Driving Assistant 2, that's the latest version. It's raining right now, or kind of freezing rain. If I turn it on, I'm hands-free, and this will even do automatic lane changes. In my head-up display, I can see you know, if there are cars beside me with the icons, and I can kind of see little icons of cars going by. So that is very good as well. Another thing, this has, check it out in the back. Oh yeah, a rear wiper. Yeah, it's a small thing, but it makes a big difference. Yeah, that has that. If your vision's obstructed though, out the back, you do have your digital rear view mirror. That's another big bonus. Now, some other markets for the Ioniq 5, you can get that now, but no rear wiper yet unless you go for that Ioniq 5N, which is coming out really soon, and we tested that as well. Unfortunately, Cynthia did not have a lot of time to try this out when I really wanted her to try it out. We had a short week. We had 3 snow days, so we were kind of stuck at home, weren't driving anywhere, and we're actually heading off on a family vacation tomorrow. So yeah, not a lot of time. Hopefully we can get it back so she can drive it a little bit more. But some of these images, yeah, we're showing how dirty this thing is, because this is what it looks like when it's dirty, but we're gonna also give you some nice images of it as well. You can't just look at dirty ones like that. Another test that we did on here when it was really cold and when it was snowing, I really wanted to check out the door handles, because these door handles are flush, they retract into the vehicle for better aerodynamics. But how would they handle, you know, ice and snow? Well, I actually even poured water onto the door handle one night even, and it froze. Opened the door, it actually went and pushed it all out, which was great. Oh, it did. And also when it was parked outside with snow and everything else like that, same thing, a little bit of a pop, and out it came. One thing though that I did notice, if you had the door unlocked for too long. Okay, I have been loading it up, and watch this. If I lock it, the handle where I poured the water on is not retracting completely, and that's because there is a little bit of ice here, and it doesn't want to force it, because remember, this has a pinch sensor. If your fingers were there, it's going to stop. So let's open. We have no problem opening. So if I unlock it, there we go. It does unlock and come out. But if I just go and just push that little bit of ice, I bet you, most likely, this is going to retract now. Oh, it did not. I might have to actually give it a little bit of a push. Oh, there it is. It's all on the bottom here. That's the ice there. It would still lock though, so it's not that you can't lock it. It's just the physical handle portion of the door is out. It was easy, you could just push it back in. But that was the real life test. Another real life test. Okay, one of the factors when buying a new vehicle, especially if it's an SUV, is will it fit comfortably in a garage? This is a 20 by 20 garage, so that's pretty standard with a lot of stuff and winter tires and stuff. Anyways, Cynthia is backing it up here. You can hear the parking sensors going, and she is going to keep on coming. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see. Now we have a storage rack here that can be removed, and we have about 30 centimeters or 1 foot to spare there. Whoa, okay, that's good. That's good. All right. Okay. Height is good. And if we go to the front here, the question is, will it fit? And the answer, it does fit. We do have room. In fact, if we close the door, you can actually walk in front of it. In the back, not so much. So there it is. There is the 3-row. And there is little Benny there. Benny, wave. Okay, good. All right, thank you. So obviously, we are not going to open up that power hatch there. In fact, I would strongly recommend that you turn off the smart power tailgate, the hands-free, if you're in a situation like this, because it will open if you get close enough and it's locked and it'll hit whatever. But what if we turned it around? Okay, this is a common thing here. You may pull your car into the garage where it's not as tall because you have the garage door in the frame of the door. So, will the tailgate clear the top of the garage? We have our power lift here. We're going to pull it back. Whoa! All right, spoiler alert, I already checked this out to make sure that it didn't hit. But there you go. It does have room. If you do have a shorter opening though, you can set the power tailgate to open or basically set its position a little bit lower. But there, look at the room here, love it. And of course, we have on the GT line, we have third R and third. We have the power folding rear seats, just like that. And I love how much room there is here if you don't need that third row. I did a couple of video shoots, I did a Costco run, and there's just so much more room, and it's so noticeable compared to our Ioniq 5. Like it's just monstrous. Want to put them back up? We can just go and just hit those, and we can fold that second row down as well, just as easy. Okay, I'm actually very impressed that not only did we actually have room in our garage for this EV9, but the fact that all I have to do is go and move that storage rack. It would provide a much easier experience to back it in or drive it in. And I love the fact that I can actually open the rear tailgate without it touching the top of the garage door. That was like, it was a nail biter the first time I tried it, but I was ready. But yeah, so if you have a concern and you have a regular size garage door, 20 by 20 is our garage size, it will fit, just in case you're wondering. Next thing I noticed that I didn't notice on our initial drive was how convenient this middle console is. Even though this center console doesn't slide like the Ioniq 5 that we have, which I do like, you slide this open here, and I like the configuration because if you don't have drinks, you have a fairly large storage area here, but once you, let's say you want some drinks to put in here, you can just press that button. It produces that opening or that portion for your cup holder. Also, let's say I want to do another one. So I have a bottle of water there, like that. There is room on the side. So I got a package of mints, and even my iPhone 15 Max, which is pretty big, with a wallet on here, actually fits really nice right there. So everything is all contained. It's not sloshing around, so it's very adjustable. And the fact that it holds my favorite Yeti mug in there is even better. So yeah. And down below, you do have storage room here. So if you want to put some things, you don't want them sliding around, you can put some things down there as well. And that's good. Middle compartment though, we mentioned before, you do have your wireless charging here, but the middle compartment is small because underneath here is your access and your cubby area for the rear seats and that little table there. Love the fact that how easy it is to fold all the seats down, because not only do they have controls to fold them down from the second row, from the third row, from the cargo area, you can also do it from the front screen as well. That's a huge bonus. And even for the driver, if I wanted to quickly even move the passenger seat, I've got controls right here. I can just slide or recline that seat for more room for that second row. When I go from the Ioniq 5 into the EV9, holy smokes, this thing feels so much bigger, which it is, than the Ioniq 5. You feel like you are, the other person's way far away. You have a bigger windshield. Yeah, you're driving a big vehicle, and yeah, it's nice. It's very, very nice. The ride is so smooth right now, even on the rutted roads in the snow. It's really easy to drive. So the question is, would I get an EV9? Answer, absolutely, I would. But it's going to depend on what your needs are. Do you have a family? Do you have, do you need the room for extra gear? The girls are, they're horse riding on a regular basis now. They got lots of gear to bring and stuff. Yeah, I like the extra room. I can fit the stuff in the Ioniq 5 as well, but it's just easier having more room. Third row, not as important to us, but in a pinch, it's great to have it. And I love the fact that I can control them once again, from the front, all power. So that is good. I think the price it's not inexpensive. This one's about 78,000 Canadian dollars for the GT line, top of the line. However, in Canada, this qualifies for federal and potential provincial rebates depending on where you live. So that's a huge, huge deal. In fact, I think, you factor that in, this is probably a better deal in Canada than what our US counterparts are paying for theirs. So that's a big bonus. Yeah, it's not inexpensive, but if you look at the big picture, what else is there in the market in this category? Not much really. Unless you are in the premium or luxury space like a Mercedes, I would say, the Tesla Model X, but I don't consider the Model X really an SUV like this. But you can get a Model X, but that's going to run you a lot more money. The Rivian R1S, kind of comes to mind of a competitor in a way. But if you take a Rivian R1S with their standard battery, which gets you about 414 or so kilometers of range, all-wheel drive, you do get more power though. You get 500 and some odd more 500 something horsepower on that, but that is going to run you about $35,000 more. If you're into off-road, more adventure, then that would probably be right for you, but it's also $35,000 more. So that makes a big difference. So I think all in all, for what you get in this package, it's a hard product to beat, especially at this time because it's the only one. So that's it for our second look at the EV9. Hopefully we'll get it back again when we have a little bit more time and Cynthia can drive it and see maybe this, we can actually look into getting one of these and yeah.
Meters, traffic light camera ahead.
And the navigation is talking to us. There's a traffic light camera up ahead. So that's it. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.